Let's learn something. Alright everyone, so today we're going to be talking about the book of Lamentations. Now, this is pretty much just Jeremiah explaining every which way he can how poor the conditions are in the city of Jerusalem. He described the children begging without food, the road conditions. I mean, he goes into detail and gets very descriptive about how poor the rubble is in the city of Jerusalem. Now, he also kind of has a little pity party for himself. But despite all that he goes through and all that he kind of talks about, he still finds hope in the Lord. And I think that's the main takeaway from the book of Lamentations. Today on our Animal Spotlight, we're going to be talking about the Florida state bird, the mockingbird. The mockingbird is very common here in Florida. It's a year-round resident. It is found just about everywhere. They usually make their nest out of sticks, and they usually lay 3 to 4 eggs. Now, the name the mockingbird is derived from the bird's habit of mimicking the calls of other birds. They are known to mimic the calls of everything from warblers to blue jays to even large hawks. They learn new songs throughout their lifetime, and it has been recorded that they know up to 150 different songs. They feed largely on insects, but in the winter they switch to berries and fruits. The one thing I always notice about the mockingbird is they are very aggressive, especially to other birds outside their species. Now, the cool thing about the mockingbird is I had the privilege of having a nest just right outside my window. So I set my camera up and I was able to capture from the time they laid the eggs to the time the chicks actually flew out the nest. It was an awesome experience. It took about 14-ish days, about 2 weeks. And then the birds left the nest and they have not been back. So it was really cool, and I'll show some clips from that. And I actually have the full video on YouTube if you want to check that out later. I'll put the link up here. Now for our financial portion today, we're going to be talking about debt. Now there are 1,000,001 ways to get out of debt. Most people don't do any of them, it seems like, but just some facts for you. The average American owes $90,000, and the average salary in America is $51,000. So people typically make half of what their debt is. That's very alarming. This shows that we have a very serious spending problem. And if we don't start to learn to not spend as much on material possessions and start focusing more on actually having cash to buy things, I feel like much of the problem we're in, the national debt, all this kind of stuff, is getting out of hand because people are just not worried about debt anymore. Now, if you need help getting out of debt, I'm not a financial advisor. I can help you the best I can, but again, I get most of my resources from Dave Ramsey. He is awesome. He is really good about getting you out of debt. He may not be good about teaching you how to make money, but he is really good with helping you manage it and helping you get out of debt so you can start building wealth today. I highly encourage you to check out Dave Ramsey's website. On today's history lesson, we're going to be talking about a topic many of you already know. It's called the Boston Tea Party. So the Boston Tea Party was a political protest that occurred on December 16, 1773 at Griffin's Wharf in Boston, Massachusetts. American colonists were frustrated and angry at the British for imposing taxation without representation, and they ended up dumping 342 chests of tea imported by the British East India Company into the harbor. So the Americas were very fed up with everything Britain was doing, taxing them and not representing them, so they said, all right, enough with y'all, we're going to take action. I kind of like them for that. So that's a little bit on the Boston Tea Party. And our inspiring quote of today is, "The road to success and the road to failure are almost exactly the same." Well, I hope you learned something today. I hope you're able to take something away from this and go out and change someone's life in the community with this knowledge, if not your own life. Hope you have a good one. Hope you learned something.